It's about time. I thought I would make this video and just talk about a couple of things that have been on my mind for a minute. Okay, so this is not like an April Fool's joke or anything that I did a while ago where I said I'm quitting YouTube and it was just an April Fool's joke. But what I am quitting is I'm quitting being on the content treadmill that I got on with YouTube. I realized a lot of things about life, and I had lots of learning lessons over the last few years as I was growing Clever Programmer. And I'll also kind of share what I see as the future and what I'll be doing on Clever Programmer and what I will be doing in general, probably outside of Clever Programmer. And this video is for a lot of people. Like, it's not just for developers. I want to make this video for even other content creators. If you're a YouTuber and you're a content creator and you're maybe a developer who's creating content on other channels or thinking about creating content, I think this could be something useful for you and valuable for you to know. I'm going to be a little bit all over the place. I'm sorry, but I'll just stick to like what I want to say, whatever's coming to my mind, and I hope it'll make sense. But a few years ago, I mean, lots of years ago, right? When I started my coding channel about 6 or 7 years ago, I was really excited about it, really passionate about coding because I was coding every single day. And I was coding about 14, 15 hours a day and always had these crazy epiphanies and discoveries and I wanted to share. Like when I was a beginner, I was like, oh my God, I just learned Fibonacci sequence. I have to share it with somebody. When I learned the recursion, I remember being at McDonald's with like my ex-girlfriend a long time ago and like literally stopping at McDonald's and going like, and she was like annoyed by it, because I would talk so much about coding all the time. And I like stopped her and I sat her down at McDonald's and we got fries. And I was like 19 or 20 or something like that at that time. And I was like, I just learned recursion. It's fucking crazy. I have to show you. And I sat her down and I like opened up my napkin and then I like drew out recursion. I showed her like how it worked. And it was so epic. I was having so much fun. I think she wasn't having that much fun. And I broke it down exactly how it worked, how I thought it worked, because it just clicked in my head. And I was like, it's crazy, just like how it unfolds all the way down until the base case, and then it goes the other way. Oh, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Right? It's one of the coolest things on planet Earth. And when I like kind of figured it out, and I was a lot slower than everybody, and I was dumber than everybody, and so like my friends would understand it, and like after one class session, they'd be like, "Oh yes, recursion. It makes so much sense." And for me, it didn't make any sense. It was something like that I had to spend like 8 hours, for so many days in a row. And then 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, it finally clicked. And I was like, oh my God, it's awesome. So I was sharing it with her and I was so fascinated. I was blown away. But I remember I was so excited about that time, right? And I think that was the time I wanted to share all these things. And so what I did is I created a channel. And that was brilliant timing for that channel. Because right when I was passionate about it, I started creating content. And so then every day I would share something that I was excited about. So whether it was like a R programming language video I made a long time ago, or I started teaching Python because I was learning Python. And then right when I got a job, I started showing people how to get a job. And it was all very passionate and real and very exciting. Then that was like 2016, 27. Some of it was 2017. Then 2017, things changed. Because 2016, I was like a student and living this normal life. And then at the end of 2016, my channel started taking off and I was starting to get like people following me and all that stuff. And around the end of 2016, start of 2017, I had a bunch of people hitting me up like, hey, let me do your marketing and work on your marketing funnels. And let's launch a product and you should launch a course. And this is how you make money and you should do this type of business model. And I was also pretty interested in, I was looking at Zero to Launch by Ramit Sethi and all this stuff. And I was excited. And I know if you're on this developer channel, you're going to be like, what the hell are any of these things? Like, I just want to code. That's fine. If you want to do that, just go away from this video because like, there's probably not going to be anything of interest to you because I'm not really going to be talking about coding that much in this video. But I hope that some of it could still resonate with you because our passions change. And I kind of want to talk about that. And so that was a lot of fun for me. That was a lot of fun because I would learn the stuff and share it and then implement it. And then I got into like learning business because I was growing the YouTube channel, and then I was growing a course-based business, online digital course business. I was like, this is exciting. So I was learning about email lists and email marketing and content strategies, and how do you do a product launch successfully, and how do you build a hype for it? How do you deliver the product, and how do you pre-sell a product, and how do you fulfill customers, and how do you upsell, and how do you have customer retention so customers actually stick through and enjoy the product and the service that you provide? How do you lower the refund rate? I mean, everything business related. And along with that came other things like managing a team, hiring an assistant, hiring an editor. Then we need to scale. So like getting more creators, and then more and more and more and more. And until I realized that it was just this constant thing of, I have to do more. I have to scale more. I have to make more money the next month than the previous month because I have a payroll to pay now. And I have to. And from back when like things were because I got to do them and because I wanted to do them, and me going to Dunkin' Donuts to solve a coding problem because I was trying to solve like the Little Schemer book from like 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. I was doing that. It was like all because I wanted to do it. And then at this point, I didn't really want to do that stuff anymore. And everything was just a burden. And so around like 2017, if you watch some of my videos, like earlier kind of in 2017, like or mid 2017, I started to like kind of look depressed or sad or low energy because I was like, I feel so forced to be doing these things. So that was great. And then it happened. And then I ended up launching a course at the end of 2017, Profitable Programmer. And that launch went great. And we had a ton of students enroll. And I decided to leave Chicago at that time and go to LA. And then after that, it was just like, go fast. Like be in a fast place like LA. Get a bunch of creators, be around a bunch of creators, hire a bigger team, and then because I got kind of new into like money and status and fame and all of those things were very new to me, I didn't know what to do with them. So 2018, I was like partying and spending a lot of time dating and just doing a bunch of random shit that wasn't actually productive for my business or my health. And I just had to prove people wrong, and I had to show people what I could do, and I had to show people who I could be, and it wasn't the right way to spend a year, but that's how 2018 went. And you could see my content is like very little content that I did. And then 2019 was like crazy. 2019 started kind of crazy at a breaking point because at the end of 2018, I kind of got depressed and I was really sad. I lost my entire team. Everybody was like pretty much like, you know what, fuck you. Everybody left the team and quit. And so that 2019, I had to build all over again from scratch and then grow. And so that made me realize, okay, I have to live a life of more purpose. I have to do things that are aligned, and I have to focus on discipline and building consistency and showing up for my team and being somebody who's reliable, being somebody who people could count on. And so then that became my focus starting in 2019. And I got some of the team members back whose trust I had lost. I showed my character over time and discipline, and I started getting more consistent again with content. And here's where things started to change because, see, 2016, it was all about like coding, and that was my passion. 2017, it was about like proving these business concepts right and kind of make them work. And 2018 was like partying and discovering myself and seeing who I am and just a bunch of different stuff, right? Like really going to the extreme. And then 2019, I went back into being disciplined, back into being all of that. But at that point, what happened was I was doing all those things. I was disciplined and I was being consistent. I started this 30-day challenge where I wouldn't miss a single video. Every single day I would drop a video and start building the audience back up again and started dropping banger content. I dropped a Python tutorial and like, boom, things were blowing up in 2019 again. But see, the interesting thing is I wasn't really passionate about coding anymore. Like truly, truly, truly passionate about coding anymore. And it was a really scary thing because I'm like, well, I've been spending so much time building up this channel. I can't quit now. And everybody around me was just like, you're 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers. Like, are you stupid? You can't change now. You can't go do other things. Like, you have to just keep going and keep going. And I'm like, but I'm not really feeling it that much anymore. You know, it's not something that drives me or excites me that much. Like, I like coding, but I don't get to do it. My whole time is spent managing a team, building a team, customers and meetings and all this other stuff. And so I'm focused on self-development and business and leadership and all this other stuff. And like, I'm excited to talk about it, but now I don't have a platform to talk about it. I have a platform to talk about what I wanted to talk about 2 years ago. And then I was just stuck talking about it in 2019. Then I felt kind of stuck talking about it in 2020. Then I felt stuck talking about it. And everywhere I would look, and every big person I would look to, you know, whether it was Alex Hormozy or any of these like big people, again, you might not know them if you're in the coding space, but like these people in the marketing world, right? Let's just say they were saying, focus one thing, stick to one thing. Winners just stick to one thing over a long period of time, and that's how they win. And that's how life is supposed to be. You just focus, you cut everything else out, and you just got to be disciplined. And it's just you being distracted, and broke people are distracted. Don't get distracted. And so all those things built up, and it's obviously fault of my own as well, just built up a lot of pressure in my mind to be like, you know what, I have to just keep growing this thing. This is the only thing I have to grow. And so even when I was disconnected, I was like, well, I could still be disciplined, and it's still valuable for people, and it could still bring value to people, and I still have a lot of knowledge to give. So then I just stayed diligent and focused. And I'm like, even if I don't enjoy it, other people get value out of it. So I just should keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. So I grinded all of 2019 and did that. And then 2020, we built a big team and had crazy revenue coming in every single month, only to realize that we were losing money and bleeding money every single month. And then a bunch of team members left at the end of 2020, and that was pretty bad and kind of awful. And then 2021 was similar experience. It was just like, we have to make like $100,000 a month, or have to make like $150,000 a month. Like, there's no other choice. We have to do that. But then the depressing part at the end of the month, there was a month, I think 2021, I'm like losing track of some of the years, but like there was months where, keep in mind, I'm this kid who came from Pakistan, who like didn't really have anything growing up, you know, went to a religious school where they beat the shit out of you, like all this random stuff. And I'm not saying I was like from a, you know, poor family, but like we were like middle class. We were like low middle class. And, you know, my family was doing like slightly above minimum wage jobs, and we were doing, you know, okay. But to go from that to like, you're growing a channel and you have all this, all these subscribers, and you have all this income coming in, and you have all these students that you're taking care of, I was like, this is crazy. And so we were hitting months that were like $250,000 in a month. And I was like, this is unreal. But the crazy thing was the expenses that month were like $260,000. Like, imagine that. Just imagine that. I mean, it's crazy, right? To imagine. I think it's even crazy for people to understand you can make more than like $40,000 or like $60,000 in a year. Like, that seems so crazy, right? So you're making $260,000 in a month. But here's the pathetic part. On $250,000 that you're making, you're spending $260,000 or $255,000. And so I was actually more broke than a normal person. Like, a normal person just doing a job at McDonald's was richer than I was. And that was a very sad moment because there was so much financial pressure that I was feeling in that time. It was crushing me, literally crushing my soul underneath. And the financial pressure was like, we got to run all these ads because we have 25 people on the team and they feel like my friends and they feel like my family, and I can't fire them. So I have to just do things to make money. I have to do it for them, and I have to. And at some point, it just got to a point where we couldn't keep it up anymore. And I kind of was like got crushed under the pressure. And then, 2021 or something along those lines, we had to just let go of everybody on the team and kind of start over from scratch. And once I did that, I started feeling peace again and kind of joy again. I started enjoying things. But still the problem remained, which was like, I was just trying not to lose all the success I had built. And I just kept sticking with the coding channel and coding content. And again, it wasn't like my day-to-day passion anymore. It was something I just did because I thought it brought value to other people. And so that was 2021, 2022, 2023. And so imagine like, spending 1 year of like real passion and 6 or 7 years out of just sheer discipline and focus and consistency and project management and that's how I got to 1 million subscribers. And some of you look at my content and you're like, no, I don't know. Like, you guys are really smart. You probably can feel by my energy, and you've seen videos where you're like, is he really that into it? I mean, again, when I'm doing the videos, it's not like I'm faking it. I'm enjoying the videos. But it's like I would figure out how to kind of enjoy when I was in the middle of it, But it wasn't something I obsessed about because I didn't do it on a regular basis. To this day, I still sit down sometimes, and if I have an opportunity to code or build an app, I'll have one of my developers on the team, and I'll just sit down with them on a meeting, and I'll start building the app with him. And before I realize 6 hours have passed, and so I enjoy that. When I'm in that zone, then I like talking about it. But for the last 6 years, I wasn't coding. I had to like build the business and grow the channel and like everything that was coding. And a lot of lessons I learned from that, and it's like, if I was making who was I making $250,000 a month for if I was losing $250,000? Like, my income is zero, right? I'm broke. The income is zero. Yes, there were years where we had like profit and stuff, but I would reinvest aggressively. But like, and I always laughed and I would say, like, it's interesting how many ways there are to make $0. And so it's like, at the end of the day, there's no income coming in, and I'm still somebody who has, like, you're making $0. So why not? Like, you could make $250,000 and then make $0 and have all that crazy stress that comes with having to make that money and managing a team and ad spend and all this stuff. Or you could just be at $0. Like, AKA just have no expenses and also be making no money. Like, it's the same thing, but one of them is a lot less stressful, right? And so then I'm like, why am I doing this, like, going at such a crazy pace? And so those were a couple of big realizations that I've had over the last few years. And then now what it has come to essentially is like, what I've been really excited to do is show people how to grow their YouTube channels. What I've been really excited to do is, even more than that, honestly, is I want to make content that challenges me, because for me, it's boring to keep making the same content again and again. Top 5 programming languages, top 5 highest paying programming jobs, 3 tips developers didn't know, TikTok app, let's build LinkedIn, let's build this, and let's build this, and let's build this. It's like, it just doesn't fulfill me, right? It's like boring, it's easy. And you felt that way, right? In life, where you figure out something and then at some point it feels boring and you kind of want a new challenge. And that's why we like even coding, because there's always a new problem to solve. And so it was killing me to have just the same problem, trying to just, okay, we got to keep solving this problem over and over again. And so the direction I'm heading in is one where now, thank God, I'm not in a position, I've gotten myself out of a position where I don't need, I've gotten myself out of a position where I don't need literally any of the viewers' money. I don't need any customers' money. I don't need YouTube ads spend to give me money. I don't need sponsorship money. Like, none of those things are necessary. And so now I'm like, what do I actually want to do? And what comes to me is I want to pursue creatively challenging things that interest me, that are hard, that are exciting, And so, like for example, Joma Tech is a great example. How he just went the route of like chasing his creative vision, And I'll give you a simple example of I love that type of stuff. Love that type of crazy content. And recently I made a video on Clever Programmer. And if you look, that's the last video that I made with all my heart and effort. And it's the ChatGPT one. And I even edited it. And on my channel, it crushed it. Because on the Clever Programmer channel, I don't really get that many views. I actually get very little views. per video, like 10K views or 8K views. And that video was on ChatGPT built my app in minutes. And that video in 1 month got like 600,000 views. And if you watch that video, you can see that I'm enjoying myself making that video. I'm enjoying the art behind it. I'm enjoying the storytelling behind it. And if you watch that video, you'll enjoy it. And it's funny and it's kind of crazy and it's wild. And so like that to me is creatively challenging and fulfilling. And so if there happens to be some kind of creative challenge, something that's fulfilling in the coding world, I'll make a video, on this channel. But my gut feeling is you're not going to see a lot of content from me on this channel for now. Like there might be some random stuff I want to share like this and I might drop it. But mostly I want to be making videos on my personal brand, Rafik Kazi. That's the one I want to grow. And I have lots of crazy ideas that I want to pursue. And so some content I want to make on chess because I love chess. And so I've been making content on that. There's going to be some other content that's going to be like really crazy. So think like some kind of crazy challenge or something people are really curious about, and I don't want to share that much yet because sometimes when I share, I get the high of just sharing it and then I end up not doing it. So I'll keep it to myself for now. And then once it's real, you'll see it live on my personal brand channel, like Rafik Kazi. And so that's what's exciting me. So I want to pursue that. And then I want to, if there's something that excites me in the coding world to talk about, I'll talk about it from time to time, or some thoughts I want to share with you. Or if you guys like this video, then maybe I'll make more like these, because just like, what would I do if like literally I didn't care about like having to support a team or a payroll or any of that, and you just focus. And even now we have a very lean team. Yeah. So, and I spent all day today cutting like software expenses because I'm like, what I need to do over the next 10 years is put myself in a position where I can maximize how many risks I can take. Because the more risks I can take, the more chances I get at, one, just fulfilling my own self and having less regret in life. Two, I maximize my flow state. And obviously my growth. And so I want to do things that maximize my growth, right? Which is taking risks. So how do I put myself in a position to take those risks? Well, how I do that is by not having ridiculous overhead, not having a ridiculously large Titanic-sized team to support, because then it goes from what's the thing that I want to do that fulfills me that can also bring value to everybody else, like you. It goes from that to how do I get this team member paid next month? Because if I don't do this, if I don't make money and I'm not the rainmaker that they think I am, they don't get paid. They don't get to put food on the table, right? And it's not that dramatic because people are very resourceful, right? And so it's like if you can't make it, they'll get a job. And everybody on my team is so talented that like if they bounce, they'd have a job max in 1 week. Like everybody's a killer. Like if they weren't before, they are now. Like everybody's super talented on the team now. And so, yeah, it's like it's like now that I don't have that pressure, I want to pursue the things that I want to pursue and enjoy. And, if I could go back, and this is where I think it could be valuable for you, but it's like, if I could go back, man, I would just focus on I would really make the foundation with something I enjoy. Like I would really, 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 really make that the foundation and not go from like this duty, passion, like this discipline. Like there's nothing wrong with discipline, but it's like, what do you throw discipline at, right? If I threw discipline at the thing that fed me and made me really excited, I would have been like 10 times a bigger channel without even needing all that team. Because honestly, the one of the reasons I needed such a massive team is because I didn't want to do any of those things that I was doing. Like they were not fun. They were boring as shit to me. And so I was like, that's why I had a big team. That was the reason. I was just paying everybody to like, hey, you do all the stuff that like I really don't want to do. And now that it's like I'm doing all of the things that I really want to be doing, I'm like, no, I want to edit. Like I want less editors. I want to edit. And so my message to you is just, can you make your joy the foundation? Make that the foundation and then build discipline on top of that and then build other things on top of that, because the last thing I want you to do is like spend 6 years trying to become a coder when you really just didn't like it and you only were doing it because you're trying to impress your friend, or you were trying to show your dad they're smart enough to be able to do it, but like you don't actually like it and you don't actually enjoy it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would say spend time thinking about that. Spend spend time thinking about what you want to truly do, and then build on top of that. I think that's going to be a beautiful thing. Like, you can't see it, but I have my 1 million subs plaque. Like, that's pretty cool. But I kind of, I don't want to say I kind of built the wrong thing, because that's a pretty bold statement, but I kind of built the thing that I wasn't that passionate about. I'm okayly passionate about it. Like, I can enjoy it certainly, but it's not something that I was doing on a regular basis. And I'd rather build a brand and a channel on things that I'm doing on a regular basis. Like, I just did a 100-day Muay Thai challenge, and so like I'd rather make content on that, right? Like, 'cause that's top of my mind. It's exciting to me. Just did 100 days, spent 100 days, and so I did 100 days of Muay Thai, and I ended up doing a Muay Thai fight at the end of the 100 days. So that's exciting to talk about. I did 100-day. I went from couch potatoes to running a marathon in 100 days. Like, that was exciting. So I would want to talk about that. That's something I have the freedom to talk more about on my personal brand. And now that I have a smaller team and lower expenses, I don't need every single video to get crazy amount of viewership so that I could get crazy amount of money or whatever. Like, I can make content that I want to make, even if it gets like 2,000 views, like this video. Like, it's probably going to get like 1,300 views, because I'm not talking about coding, and I'm putting it on my coding channel, but I just don't care, because if one, it makes me feel good just to talk about this, and two, because I think I just want one person to listen to it and get value out of it, like a person who is maybe gonna create content or is a content creator and might not ever comment on it, but watches it and is like, holy shit, like, I was going down that path and it helped me change, and I'm not going to pursue that path, and I'm going to go into like what makes me excited and passionate. And and then for somebody who's becoming a developer, but they realize like that's not their thing, they don't really enjoy it, they're doing it for lots of other reasons. Like, don't do it if you don't enjoy it. Only do it if you enjoy it. Like, your joy of it should be the foundation. That's my message to you. I love you. Mwah. I'll see you. Bye.